Greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers, and fans of the weird and the wonderful. Gary, how's it? How are you?
Colin, you're looking spivvy today. You've been, took me on a bit of a joyride, which I thoroughly enjoyed. You won't believe where it took me, but that's not for this show. But we went on a joyride getting here.
Welcome to episode 95 of Waved Yellow. We're in Pretoria, my hometown. Got to love this place, but slightly, whereabout are we? Centurion. Used to be called something, it's close to Irene.
Verwoerdberg.
It used to be called Verwoerdberg, and then it became politically incorrect, but Gary, we're not going politics. I told you, no politics.
Colin, pay attention.
I am. We're at the Ink Monkey Design Factory, and yes, the name came before the TV show was in South Africa. We were with Anel and Marius. Welcome, guys. Thank you very much for your hospitality and the cool cars. We're going to have a look around and a little bit of a chat. Are you nervous yet?
A little.
And Anel?
Just a bit.
But wine is good for you, isn't it?
I've been told.
Some say. Gary, what happened this weekend? Well, first of all, huge respect, shout out to Antwon and his family, friends, and the greater motorsport community. It is never lacquer when somebody loses his life, and particularly someone so young and with so much promise. But motorsport is dangerous, and it's quite sickening to see how a lot of vultures prey on the clicks that they get by sharing videos. Don't do it. Remember, we're sponsored, Gary, by the DBAC Association, global organization. We're very, very proudly sponsored by them. So to share videos of a guy of the close-ups is actually not cool. But I also want to shout out, so to Antwon, the racing family, our condolences. Be strong, be safe, be brave. It doesn't get easier. It doesn't get better, but the memories grow stronger. But also to one Manuel Correa, who was the guy who drove into the car of Hubert. So there are two things about that. A, he's come out of intensive care. He's in a London hospital. He's got massive injuries of his feet. But something that I feel for him is he's got massive injuries to his thought process, I believe. To be involved in something like that, to hit a guy with the consequences. So my greatest my feelings go out to Juan Manuel, and may things get better. So Leclerc won. He's my guy. Gary?
He did a fantastic job.
And how?
And I'm so glad that he got that win.
How is it that Ferrari finally didn't...
Yeah.
I nearly said that word.
Yes.
Ferrari finally got it right and said to the world's five-time, their number two driver, the five-time world champion, four-time whatever.
Wait.
Pull over. That phone call.
I just want to let
Sebastian, the man behind you is faster than you. Pull over.
I just want to let you know that if you do, by any chance, have a lapse, the jingling jar tonight is this beautiful car standing to your right-hand side.
No, Gary. Okay?
And when we go and show people, remember, it starts off at the price of that car.
Gary,
no. I'll be easy on you. The price of that wrap. Okay,
Gary,
so if you go that route, you put X amount in the jingling jar.
I'll do it for what that wrap cost. Yes, because I've had a discussion with the rappers.
Are you coming up with a tune?
I want you to focus. In case you have got short-term memory loss, Gary, we didn't start the show. Did I mention that it was episode 95 of Waved Yellow, and that we are at the Ink Monkey Design Factory, where they make cars look cooler than they really are?
If you didn't, you've just told everybody where we are. So, well
Gary,
done, Colin.
That's how we roll. What else happened this weekend? Eric Jones, the fourth of Joe Gibbs racing cars, finally won at Darlington in a Toyota. So it was absolutely fantastic. His maiden victory in NASCAR. And then Kelvin and David Perrell had mixed weekends.
They did.
In the Blancpain GT at Nürburgring. I think that David Perrell in the 333 Ferrari, they really enjoyed the second race where they did well. Kelvin, You get at the end of each race, we get the lap times. How is it that Kelvin is up there all the time? Big shout out to David Perrell. He was the fastest of the silver drivers.
Pro-Ams. He
Gary?
won the Pro-Am.
Yes, Gary.
Yes.
But he was the fastest of the silver drivers.
That's also true.
Because David is a silver driver. He still hasn't got his ticket for the endurance race of Nürburgring, but David, I know that you will get it. Something else that happened? Before we go there,
Yeah.
I just want to, you know that we love endurance racing.
It's our best.
It's freaking awesome. So the South African Endurance Series by Mopar, Roger Pierce, Grumpy Roger, is the man who puts it together, runs probably one of, in my opinion, the best race series and race day event in the world. There's a great vibe, stuff works, the officials aren't over-officialing. Roger, all the best of luck for your operation. Roger goes into hospital. It's a mega operation, 7 hours of mechanicking and tuning up and replacing of parts or removal of some not so lacquer bits. Roger, be good, be strong, and you will be back. And we look forward to that. What else? Oh, Gary, Hasty's Helpful Hints is back.
No. What have you done this time?
Gary, number 346 in the series of Hasty's Helpful Hints. When you have a direction and an address to go to, and somebody sends you a pin, make it very easy. Click on the pin. Don't be a smart ass and type into Waze because you think that's cool, and because there's a chick who talks on Waze and a guy on Google Maps. And then instead of coming to Centurion, you go to East Lynn. Because we're in Jurg Street in Centurion as opposed to Jurgen Street in East Lynn, which, for those of you who don't know, is a boatload of kilometers
50
that way.
kilometers that way of the world. Totally out of sight.
So that's my navigation. Guys, we're coming there. We just thought that we'd leave you hanging a bit and all that stuff. No, just so that you can relax a bit. Another big shout out to William. Rally William is his name on my book. Track N4 are the new sponsors of the Rally Bronkhorstspruit.
That's
at the end of this month, on the 27th and 28th of September.
Correct.
You will notice also on the 27th, 28th of this month, we haven't spoken about the Emerald Casino time attack because there's some exciting news. And next week we will have Terry Wilford as our guest, the one and only for episode 96. Terry Wilford will be back at our home studio of the Higher Ground. And Mark, we're so sorry we couldn't be there. I know business is down, but we've got our live audience here. And Gary, how is it that GTR Nissans they just happen to be everywhere? It's unbelievable.
Is there one here?
Well, there's like GTR clothing walking around for days and all the... You know, Giannis, we've got a live audience today. So for those of you who like GTR Nissans, big shout out. Giannis is in the house. Woo! Shout out to Giannis. I knew it was Giannis because all I saw first was a GTR badge that came in. It was absolutely magnificent. But to get to where we are.
Isn't he trying to get us to do something tomorrow night?
No, it's not tomorrow, Gary. Okay. Thank God for that because... there might have been a date clash, and I might have been not so popular as I am, because apparently my calendar doesn't work so lacquer. So if you've got any questions, queries, and comments,
put them in the
suggestions,
comment section. There, I'm watching. All of you online, I'm watching.
Gary's on his check me, check you vibe.
Are you willing to do what you need to do?
Gary, I can do whatever I want to do, not what I need to do.
Okay, I've got to go and...
No, you don't need to do that yet. We're going to chit-chat first.
Oh, okay.
So, Gary, let me give you a rundown of the show. As we discussed earlier, we're going to have a chit-chat about the Ink Monkey Design Factory, where they make magic. Guys. If you have a car, they add value to your car, but not so much value.
Or these guys.
These guys. And their team.
Yeah,
so we're going to have a chit-chat, and then we're going to talk about this... my eyes. We're going to have a look at this and the feeling behind it. And Gary, I thought that this was Charles Oranges', Paul Hill's car that this Aston Martin here. I thought it had just been resprayed, but apparently not. So, here we are, Anel and Marius. We are at Ink Monkey Design Factory. What do you do?
We do high-end vehicle wraps.
High-end vehicle wraps. Is that because the vehicles are high-end, or the quality of the materials you use?
The quality of the materials and then also this workmanship.
The workmanship, and I want to talk about that workmanship. There's some serious, proper skills here. Anil, you are...
The boss.
Well, of course, she's a woman. Any man who thinks that they're the boss in a relationship is loopy. I mean, let us, as boys...
Is that another one of Colin's helpful hints?
Yeah, okay. Number one on Colin's helpful hints. Recognize who the boss is. If you're in a relationship, the chick is the boss in the discussion. And we assume all the other political correctness, and we don't do that.
Happy life. Happy wife, happy life.
Well, that's why I'm divorced.
And the girls in line go, wow!
I used to have a wife, but she wasn't happy, so now I don't have one. Right, moving swiftly along. Gary, that's it. We're going home now.
We are here.
No, we're not. Okay, so the reason we're here, because you invited us, and we always love going out to see interesting things, is you are off to SEMA.
Hopefully.
Why is it still hopefully?
Because the winner each continent winner will only be announced by the 1st of October.
Hold on, let's just back up a bit. There's a competition, and I believe it's run by one of the leading, or is it the leading wrapping supplier companies in the world, Avery Dennison. They run a competition. Did you hear that, Avery Dennison? Yeah. Big shout out to Avery Dennison, because they make stuff. They run a competition that does what?
It's called Wrap Like a King. So you can enter any vehicle that you like, as long as it's passenger, not allowed to enter like a helicopter or a motorbike. Yeah, and you have to wrap it with 90% of Avery Dennison products.
What's the other 10%? Can you use somebody else's product?
Yes, well, 10%.
Okay, so you guys, you and Nell, I've got to say that you flipping crazy. You came up with a crazy design, and you were crazy enough to convince Marius, your husband, that this is a good thing to do. You fed him shed loads.
Slowly.
I said shed loads of wine, and then he agreed. He said it was a...
It'll never work.
No, he said to me it was a whole box of wine, and then what did he say?
We drink from the bottle. It's not a box.
No, wine comes in... We do drink from the bottle, but in order to drink from the bottle...
You have to buy a box.
You have to buy a box.
Yes.
And then?
So I came up with the idea, or an idea, and then he said yes, but it was too mainstream. And then I decided to do something that hasn't been done before, especially in the competition itself, because we've been following it since we started the wrapping company in 2016. And the glitch or anaglyph hasn't been used yet, so why not do it? Be different.
And an anaglyph is a graphic that uses kind of 3D, different colors to make a 3D look. And it's best looked at when you're completely hammered.
Indeed. It will give you a day's migraine if you work on it on a Sunday.
And so
you
did...
tell me now that you know, when
No,
we look
not
at
yet,
this, have to
Gary.
get...
Gary, your cue is when I say something along the lines of, well, that's so interesting. Take us for a walk around the car.
I'm talking about the amount of consumption of something while we look at it. Do we have to get like that? Or
Gary, we don't.
We don't?
No.
Oh, we've got to behave.
No, we do. No, we always behave. We just like good people.
Just thinking on it.
So, just in the relationship that you two have got, you've got creative, left field, way out there brain, and then mechanic. You run the operation side of it, and you apply the wraps to vehicles. Am I right, Marius?
Yes, you are.
I love it when I'm right, Gary. And so talk us through what makes it so difficult to wrap a car properly? The curves.
Yeah, definitely going into the recesses. Yeah, it's just the skill involved in doing a full vehicle wrap.
You're very modest, because I looked at this Aston Martin. What's that? What color is that? Gunmetal grey?
No, it's
Satin dog grey.
Satin dog grey from...
No, you're not allowed to say that. Okay, so it's satin dark grey. What's the Avery equivalent to that? They haven't got one. Okay.
Metallic charcoal.
So I looked at this car and I ran my hands over it as one does because it's got curves and stuff. And I felt the edges and I couldn't feel that it had been wrapped. I opened the door. Admittedly, I didn't have my glasses on and I battled to tell that this car was wrapped. This thing you've recently wrapped.
That was done last week during the whole week, so we just had the opportunity to showcase the car this evening. Yeah.
Because one of the things that people tell me about this place is always pop by because there's something really cool in it.
We always have some cool cars here.
You got two cool cars. You got a cool motorbike. You do motorbikes as well. You do boats. You do. Is there anything that you can't wrap?
Running human being.
A stationary human being you can wrap?
We can try.
Love it. Always have a go.
I know what I want to do with Colin after this show. Have you got some lots of sticky stuff? I can wrap him up and just.
No, Gary, all you need is duct tape and.
Okay.
Because
so
you see what I've got to put up with.
Yeah.
Guys, why don't we take a walk, Gary, there's your cue, around this car that you've entered in this competition. And how do people, you said there's a vote, it's an online voting thing?
Yes. So you can. There's 3 categories that you can win. You can either win the People's Choice Awards, and that's where the voting comes in. No.
This is mine, I'll hold it.
So you can either win the People's Choice Awards, so please vote. It's on the link. But you have to vote for us, no one else. And then you can win your continent, which hopefully we will. And then if you are a continent winner, the continent winner gets, or the overall winner gets announced at SEMA in November, and it's on my birthday,
Awesome, what date is that?
November 8th.
November the 8th in SEMA, so you've got to win the continent and you go to SEMA.
Yes.
And Avery, are they helping you with the voting and stuff?
No, they're not allowed to, apparently.
They're not allowed to. But you know what, we'd like to help you because we love South Africans competing in the automotive category of world domination. Right, we're going to check this car out. Guys, adjust your thinking. This is weird AF. It is out of this. Just talk us through what gaat hier aan, Scotty?
what is this?
So you have to look twice, or 3 times. When I did send the picture to someone, the comment that I got was that your image is blurry, and it's not blurry. It's just the deception. It's called a glyph or an anaglyph or a glitch. So that's what it is.
So pretty much like, what was that movie with the guy who was in the system and they said there's a glitch in the system with the guy who dodges bullets and stuff like
Mad
that?
Max. No, not Mad Max.
The Matrix.
Matrix. I was halfway there.
No, you weren't.
Gary, you were so far off. Okay, so let's go through it. There's lightning and thunder, and this is a Jaguar I-Pace.
Yes.
Now, and they came to the party with, and they like lent you a car.
Yes, they did.
That's pretty cool. Big shout out to Jaguar because we like them. We like all sorts of stuff. And is this rap or real?
No, that's real. I just went with it because it looks, it's amazing. So even if you open up the carbon, it's amazing.
And you know, Gary,
We chose the
apparently, if you just go like this, I've got magic touches. Oh, I had a magic touch. I've got to stand
That's
closer to it.
That's
The other
right.
side. I'll
Yeah.
show you a magic touch because we like carbon fiber and obtainium. So, but now you go from blurry to more graphic design here.
Taking your face, you can't have that all the time. You'll just go mad.
I see what you mean.
Yes, I didn't want people to actually roll the vehicles while they look at this one.
Look, this thing is way out there. It is like proper. Scotty, ek dink jy's mal. Jy's van leukie getik. I promise you. No, it's a hell moose a compliment because if you look at something and it just hits you first time,
Yeah, it doesn't do it justice. You have to look at it, and then, like you said, I'm not convinced yet. And by the 3rd time, you liked it.
yeah, but I've looked at it 45 times and now I'm getting the feeling. So Gary, what I wanted to show is if you just like zoom out.
Your magic
the
finger.
We like carbon fiber because carbon fiber is lekker. And then we like magic. Dude, you told it does work. Check at that. It comes out. Now,
And I missed it. Can you do it again?
Gary, that's what she said.
Okay. Now do that, because there's a whole lot of things that go
Here's
on.
carbon fiber. And
Yeah.
this is malachite in the extreme, these graphics. It's like, but if you push a button, I make magic. And then why the reason I'm doing this is, Gary, because there's a thing in wrapping that I think is so cool. And that's this little wrap around here. No, zoom out.
No.
There's carbon fiber here. Gary, that sign of a quality wrap.
Not a quality wrapper.
Well, both. Because you can't have a wrap without a wrapper. And then also, you need a wrappee. So this is the wrappee. There's the wrapper.
I just paid the rapper.
You pay the wrapper. What's your favorite rap song?
I'm too Afrikaans to listen to rap. Sorry.
No, Marshall Mathers, Eminem.
That's not my style.
There's something else I want to have a look at.
Just before
Gary.
we go over, this is the car that everybody's got to vote for in the rapping competition.
Yeah, you're not going to forget this thing.
Okay. Now, I just want to tell everybody, the link is in the original description of the post. So all of you just click on that link. It takes you straight through, and just vote for these guys. Please do.
Did you have serious inspiration for this, or was it just...
No, it was a bit of wine and then.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just, I think that this studio, this design factory is absolutely amazing. So you've got all the stuff at the top where what do you design in?
Coral draw.
And the reason for that is not that because most of we've got a lot of tech people here and artists, and they're, oh my God, you're not using Illustrator, like fuck, they're from Cape Town.
Yes.
And the reason you use Coral is that it translates well to the cutting and printing machine.
Yes, it works, especially if you have gradients. It just exports much better to latex or to the printer. It works.
I love it when it translates to latex.
I'm sure you do.
So does Batman. Now, you also do motorbikes. You can wrap anything, but I want to have a look at this Aston Martin because it looks kind of lacquer. Gary, earlier on, when I looked at this thing here, there were a couple of the bits that you look at these edges here, you can't feel nothing. And these things here, these transitions.
And again, carbon fiber. But that's a print. That is a print.
I couldn't have told the difference. I thought it was real.
No, it's not. It's a print.
So now all of you out there that want carbon fiber rearview mirrors, you know where to come.
And when you look at the workmanship, how proud of you of Marius and the way that he just delivers like good stuff?
No, I'm proud of him.
You know what I think is so funny? Before the show, you were nervous, you were shaking, and you're just like dominating now. Shame, poor hubby.
He's used to it by now.
Marius, they say you are used to it. How long did it take you to wrap this car? Aston.
About 3 days.
That's a lot of work, but the detail I find exceptional. Are you a bit of a perfectionist?
Yes, we have to be with the high-end cars that we're working with. We have to take extra due care with all the cars and removing all the parts and stuff that we need to remove.
And catching all the clips and...
Exactly.
So do you know Worth? You know the Worth shop, and you go and buy all the clips that you might lose?
Yeah, there's actually a guy in Pretoria West that sells clips, but yeah, I buy them by the cents for like a handful of clips.
Always good to know a guy. We were talking earlier, you were explaining to me some of the costs involved. And there's the costs between, you get different grades of wrapping material. I just don't want to just call it vinyl. So you get some signage companies, and what's that, 100 Rand a meter?
Yes, normal signage vinyl is about $150 a meter for decent stuff, and then.
Can you just turn this way so
Yeah.
that you can look at the camera,
Yeah,
and then they
okay.
can
I
see.
didn't see that.
Yeah, I know, but our cameraman
Sneaking
should have been
behind
like
us.
kink, 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 kink. So normal stuff's about 100 Rand a meter, and then it gets ridiculous.
Wrap vinyls are anything between 850 to 2,500 Rand a meter.
What do you get for 2.5 grand a meter?
Silver chrome.
And you can do Tuka Mechanicanos, dude. Come and
The
see these
Bling
eggs.
King.
Silver chrome, and it looks like it's proper chromed.
Yes, it does.
Have you done a car like that?
We've done a truck like that.
A truck.
A big truck, yeah.
Is that ook mal?
He spent quite a bit on it.
So the answer is yeah.
Actually, there's a few.
And when you talk about high-end wraps, it's because you use quality stuff on proper cars, and you can't go and compete with rats and mice and fleet branding and all the rest of it. So you choose to work on iPaces, or is it iPaces or iPaci? Or iPace?
I'm sure.
What is, Brian, what is the plural for, if you've got two Jag, iPace, whatever, because a Lotus is low tie. So an iPace is a low IP. If you've got two there. If it's low tie, it must be
IP.
IP. And there's two of them. Not one, Gary, you're not one of these.
Okay, so all you Jaguar guys, we know you all online. Tell us what it is.
He's talking about one Jaguar guy. He's walking a lot better now. And he's a lot stronger after scribbling the BMW. Should we go back to the place? I still want to know how the hell you came up with this ink monkey jaw. Tell us the story.
We were Dreyer Digital Design at first, but
If he's no Dreyer, it's a lot of fun.
its surname is. So then we sort of shortened it, and then it became like Triple D. And then I thought, well, Triple D must be false advertising. So we went with
Wow, what is Triple D reference?
Dreyer Digital Design, like Triple D.
Oh, okay. Because I only know.
No,
Okay, move on.
swiftly. So
You're going to get me into so much trouble. Come, stand this way so that there's space for Morris. Because Grumpy gets grumpy when people crowd him and he does stuff. Gary, you got any questions there? But carry on.
yeah,
No,
so
I'm getting a lot of well dones, and welcome to the GTR Z Club guys. Do you know them?
No.
Okay, it's actually GTR and Z.
I
Now-
only know Mr. GTR.
Yeah, I know why they're going about this, because by accident I picked them up when we panned around the car, so
Gary,
can't keep you guys out of my film.
Gary, you know the commercial department has spoken to you before. That we have to be very careful about what's in the background. Because there's advertising, there's copyright, and legal gets involved. And you know how grumpy they get. Because the grumpy departments sit together, so you guys know each other well.
Am I expecting a call shortly?
Oh, well, if you're grumpy. Okay, so you became DDD, then you were in Santon in a dealership, and now this is the global headquarters. Are you looking forward to going to America?
yes, I am. Well, hopefully. So we'll know by October 1st.
But you also just happened to fly down to Cape Town for a visa thing and then come back this morning,
Yes, it's called planning.
as one does.
Yes, you should.
Gary, I'm blown away. I just want to say and not because, we like lacquer things, and we like people who take a risk, have a go. Sometimes they stumble, sometimes they don't, and they end up with an iPace and an Aston Martin and stuff, high-end stuff. I've got to say congratulations. I'm completely blown away, and well done. I think it's absolutely awesome. What's the next thing? After this thing, this is gone and done in your mind, so now you're going to go to America, you're going to hopefully win. What's the next big thing?
Well, hopefully Janus' GTR.
Which one? The blue one with the white on it? The 50th edition one?
Janus, go like this for me.
Definitely.
There's it. You've got it. You've got it.
Jonas,
We
when
want our
does the
commission. Don't forget our
2020
commission cut. Eh?
Spec GTR land here? Right, it's last week. Can you wrap that for us? Can you put it in camouflage so no one can see it?
Yes, we can.
Always worked out that. How do you know it's in camouflage wrap? If it's good camouflage,
You wouldn't see it.
you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
You
So the
wouldn't.
wrap would be nothing. Well done.
It's like invisible wrap.
Yeah.
Right, enough of that. Gary, what's coming up this weekend? I'll tell you what is coming up. There's a rally.
Yeah.
I've got notes here.
There's-
Stewie White is off to Hungaro Ring, Magyar. You remember when we had cell phones that they were dwarf?
Yes.
Because we got a smartphone now. So they were boy phones then, and now they're chick phones. And you always, and a Nokia, whatever that brick thing that lasted for days, you go in and change the Oak's language to Magyar. which is Hungarian. It was funny. I mean, I found it hell of
You enjoyed that little video clip, did you?
So, Stewie, you off to Hungary. Drive well, drive fast, and do what you do. And, dude, we want to sit here next week and say Stewie won. Don't we, Gary?
Fantastic.
Big shout out because Sauber, Formula One, he's part of that whole program.
That's right.
And give the guys a fill up for events that they can recover properly from the events of the weekend. I'm lost for words for once, Gary. I'm trying to find the right way of putting it. But anyway, I have.
You have.
I put it.
Now, listen, just while you're on that, just another thing. Something else that happened.
Yes.
Okay, was
Gary.
Fred.
Yes.
Fred went
hold on a minute.
Fred went to play in Poland.
Yeah, but they're still playing there. But before we go there, we were going to watch four-wheel drive vehicles. So last Thursday, we off to the launch of the 50th edition of the GTR. Did you hear that? The 50th edition launch of the GTR. It's a Nissan. It's kind of lekker, even though they became Datsun and then they became Nissan, or they were Datsun and they became Nissan.
Yeah.
And there's a Mary Jane.
Yes.
Am I right? It's a Mary Jane edition? King Mary, Ken Mary.
And that's a Godzilla.
No, hold on. Have you got a Ken and Barbie edition? That's the curvy one. That's the one that you go for hill climbing with.
And now they got Godzilla.
Gary, I was
too.
told, filter.
I know, the filters are not
So
on
we're
tonight.
driving along a little dirt road, a deviation, because Joburg roads are half dirt. There's one rock in the road. One rock.
Guess what I did, dude?
Gary aims for the rock.
Boom!
And he moves the rock. And then we went to...
No, but
No, hold on. We drove further,
very
2.5
further,
kilometers
yeah.
to, was it Thomas? No, it wasn't Thomas. I forget our expert
friendly side. Yeah, but the
Expert
reason we did
roadside
that was
pit stop.
the spare wheel was history.
And the spare wheel was history because somebody drove over another rock. Anyway, he's got rocks in his tires. And then, big shout out to, you went to see Keegan Ward.
Yeah, for these guys over here.
Gary, did you just put a Keegan Ward sticker
No,
on?
he insists when I was at the shop, I was doing some work, and he said, please put this on your computer, and that's why it's there. So, Keegan Ward,
Gary, that's not
Time
worth...
Out Randburg.
That's not worth what you paid for those two tires. Keegan, freaking highway robbery, China. That, you owe us money. Gary, legal are going to send him invoices. Anyway, Time Out Randburg, big shout out to Keegan Ward. Gary, we're waffling again. And this has been another episode of Waved Yellow, External Productions. Guys, at
Just
Marius,
before we do,
Anel.
don't forget, we have Calvin van der Linde in the Blancpain series this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Following weekend, we have Sheldon van der Linde in DTM and some off-road experience that you and I are going to. We're going to go and try and capture Ferdinand.
Gary, I just want to go and see Janelle drill everybody and give them a driving lesson again.
Yeah.
There was something else that was just going through my mind while we were talking about Spaniards and stuff like that, but it just like, oh my God, there's a butterfly.
Yeah, just for those who don't know, Fernando Alonso will be making a guest appearance at the Lichtenberg 400. So if none of you have ever been to see off-road racing, make your way to Lichtenberg. Fernando Alonso will be out there in a Toyota super truck, if I may call it that.
No, you can't.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a Toyota Gazoo Racing Hilux off-road racing special that competes in the FIA class of cross-country racing. Yes, get it right. But actually, it's a racing bakkie. Can like to be. It's all fantastic.
Okay. Now,
Right, you got to go and do
I've
what
got
you
to
do.
do my thing. Okay.
Anel, Marius, thank you so much for your time, for sharing wrapping vehicles.
Thank you so much.
I think it's what you do is mind-blowingly good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. We appreciate the visit.
Are you still so nervous?
No, I'm not.
So it was easy, eh?
It was.
I told you. That's what I say to them all. Thank you very much for watching episode 95 of Waved Yellow. It's been lekker. I've learned a bucket load, and I love every day that I can learn something is a good day. So I learned a whole lot of stuff. I'm looking at this car, Anaglyph. I'm not 100% convinced, but it's kind of growing on me. It's growing on me a lot because it is so far out of there. From the global headquarters of the Ink Monkey Design Factory. This has been absolutely fantastic. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. See you next week for another episode of Waved Yellow. Be safe, be lekker, and remember, DBAC. Cheers.